So this is a review for Wacky Blackout, released in 1942. It's the 373rd in the series, and it's directed by Bob Clampett. You can find this on the Looney Tunes Gone Collection Volume 6 DVD set. There is a HD version out there, which, hey, this is in the public domain, so I'll play it for you at the end of this review. And just for consistency's sake, in case you haven't seen this one before, this one's all about spot gags at the farm, which begs the question of what did farmers do during the war around this time? Yeah, the show will answer some of those questions in pretty weird ways. Now first up, you're going to see the highlights of the audio commentary for this short. The full thing is still up on the channel, but for consistency's sake, I'll add the highlights here, and then I'll go through each segment one by one to go through anything I missed last time. So without further ado, let's get into it. Look at this title screen, it's pretty amazing how he's just perving on someone and then all these people just rock up and they're perving as well. I thought that was a pretty funny little title screen. But say hi to my guests that join me today, Blue Genocide and Steph Stilly. Say hi.
Hey, everybody.
I was going to say something clever about me being a guest, considering I'm here almost every time.
But you're practically the co-host.
I just want to point out real quickly with this ridiculous dad joke that we're seeing right here with the spitting dog, how Clampett seems to, at certain times now, use like realistic drawings, but then only animate the head. Like even this cow as well. It's really weird.
Well, again, it was probably making Schlesinger real happy.
Yeah, oh, no, for sure. But he only seems to do it twice. And I mean, I think that's Scribner, and that's wonderful animation there. Oh, here's a good gag involving a turkey. I mean, you know where this is going. It's like, oh yeah, fattening him up for the oven. And then we're going to see this wonderful vintage exercise machine. See, kids, this is how they used to exercise. Well, the books haven't changed, We got, like, starve yourself in 5 days and all this rubbish. But
yeah, I'm pretty sure those machines are nothing but a sham, too.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's even the purpose of that? It's just, I think it shakes you so much you lose weight or something.
I love this. I'm calling him pretty much the Clampett dog. I mean, he seems to. It was kind of started with Avery, but I don't know. But I love this dog. Such a great design.
Oh yeah.
What do you guys think?
This is probably the most Clampett moment of this cartoon.
Kind of looks like Beaky Buzzer, doesn't it? Like look at what the dog's expression is. It kind of looks like Beaky Buzzer, which is going to be the next track, like the next one, which is actually funnier than this short, I think. But this is like a prototype Tweety right there.
This is.
I mean, it's not the same character, but the design is just about the same of what Clampett would do. I mean, creating Tweety. But
absolutely.
But I like the backgrounds here, the Capistrano sort of.
Yeah, I've been there actually. It looks.
Is it nice?
They captured it pretty well. Yeah. It's a really nice place, very relaxing.
We are out over the ocean. We can't even get close to land. Just another topical type joke there. But we wind up. We finish up with the cat capturing that prototype Woody Woodpecker-esque character, and now we've got these two wonderful old. I mean, how old are these carrier pigeons? My goodness, they're really decrepit. Great animation there.
This is a great animation. Gag.
So as mentioned, this particular commentary is up on the channel. Now, this isn't the last spot gag short that Warner Brothers would make, but it is one of the last in a series that was done by various directors. And it kind of looks like it was filling the void of what Tex Avery was doing, because of course he was fired and then goes to MGM, and then he does spot gag cartoons over there. Whether you like spot gag shorts or not, he was definitely the best at it. There's no question there. And whenever other directors try and make their own spot gag shorts, it doesn't quite work as well. It's like they're trying to walk in the shoes of another director. Clampett in particular, very hit and miss. This one's not too bad, but for the most part, yeah, some were okay, and a lot were just meh. I don't know. Your taste may vary, of course. I don't think they're the worst cartoons ever made or anything, but again, Tex Avery's definitely the master at it. And I wonder if that was just something that the theatre owners wanted. Perhaps the Tex Avery ones were really popular, and the theatres at the time were saying, please give us more. Avery, of course, would then make more, and the theatre owners want even more, so Schlesinger might have said, hey, Clampett, can you make some more? And he would then ask the other directors to make more. Avery leaves, but then they sort of stop. Maybe they've just gone out of favor, or maybe some of them just weren't as good. I don't know. But in any case, at least this one is actually the last one that Clampett would do. So the name Wacky Blackout, well, the name suggests blackout. It came out at a time where the US was in the war, and there would be regular blackouts, and some of them would be practice blackouts so that people knew what to do in case there was an attack, and that way the enemy ships and enemy planes wouldn't be able to see their targets so well. These days, the military vehicles would have things like advanced sonar, radar, and whatever other technologies available to see in the dark, but back then it was rather limited, so the idea of the blackout, it made sense, right? And they were doing regular blackouts as well in England to try and ward off all the attacks that were happening from Germany at the time. So let's look at each segment one by one. So, segment 1. I do like the idea here where it's, okay, what are the farmers doing during the war? And I gotta say, it actually got me to look it up a bit because I was genuinely curious what the farming life was like in World War II. And I'm not going to go into too much detail here, but two things I thought was very interesting. At the time, the farmers somehow managed to expand their crop acreage and harvest more corn, wheat, and oats. So they were able to meet the demands for the war. Things were still rationed, of course. They had to make sure that there was enough for the war effort and that. But interesting that they were able to yield more harvests. I thought it would have been less because the other bit I noticed, and I'm not really surprised here, agricultural employment actually dropped significantly around that time. And that was no doubt due to a lot of men being sent off to war. So yeah, the farmers really did step up at the time, which is very interesting. But this particular gag involving a full-blooded Spitz, which is a real dog, by the way, I should point out. And this joke was okay. I do find it interesting how Clampett was able to have this one still image and just animate only the bits that he needed. And speaking of which, in the second segment, that animation by Rod Scribner of that cow's head is amazing. I mean, the gag isn't very good. The voice is done by Sarah Burner, by the way, in case you were wondering. But honestly, this gag isn't particularly funny. But hey, at least the animation's great. And of course, her calf is well animated too. In the third segment, I love the design of this old cat who, according to the narrator, has been around for the last 3 wars. And when the cat nods his head, I love that violin effect. It's not the first time that Clampett did this. I think he did that in Farm Frolics too, but I don't know, it's cute. Then there's a reference to, I reckon he plans to be a riveter at Lockheed. That's for the Woodpecker there. Lockheed was a real American aircraft manufacturer at the time. And the Woodpecker itself is a Red Skelton impression done by Kent Rogers. And the whole, I doed it. If you hear that in the short, that's Red Skelton. Segment 4. I love the turkey bit when he tries to exercise and once he realizes that, oh, they're just fattening me up. And then he would go on this particular machine, which was a scam. Okay. You should look up the history of this machine. It's quite fascinating. The theory was that it would just break up all your fat in your belly but it's like, well, where does it go? But anyway, I'm not going to get into the whole weight loss thing there. And it looks like even back then there was fad diets as well. So I would say don't follow this particular type of diet, okay? You might lose a little bit of weight, but then you'll gain it back on pretty quickly. I like how in segment 5, the turtle eggs are introduced, but then the woodpecker from the previous gag interrupts it, and I thought that was pretty interesting how Clampett's just experimenting with the story here. But once we actually see the whole thing with the turtle eggs, again, the gag was just okay. The little turtle's like, beep, beep, I'm in a Jeep, and that's a reference to Jeeps being involved in the war, and they had their origins in 1940, so they were a fairly new type of vehicle, so I guess they just added it in here because it sounded funny? I don't know, but it definitely was a new type of vehicle at the time. In segment 6, we get a play on Blackouts with the two dogs, and I've always loved Clampett's dog design, not only here, but a lot of his future shorts as well, with Tex Avery's old unit. And I like how he's just barely disguising the fact that he's the one causing the blackouts. It's a cute little gag. Maybe not ha-ha funny, but I don't know. This one's alright. I don't mind it. Segment 7. I love the look of that hyperactive worm. It's just the face. I could insert some sort of inappropriate joke here regarding his face, but I'm sure you're probably already thinking it. But this is in reference to the fact that rubber rationing, which includes car tires, was happening for the war efforts. I guess he's really excited for the retread here. Segment 8, so the Fireflies and the turtle, and that's a play on those practice blackouts I mentioned earlier that were happening, just in case there was an invasion. The turtle is like, I'm afraid of the dark. Okay, fine, alright. Little smile there, but whatever. And that bulb snatcher line is a reference to the then current GE Mazda light bulb ads that were going around, so there's a pretty deep cut for you. And I guess it's time for me to mention that, yeah, some of these references, at least you don't have to know them in order to find some of these funny, but you can imagine the audiences at the time would have found this even more funnier because they would have known those ads from listening to the radio at the time. Segment 9, so you got the mother bird, voiced by Sarah Berner, and the baby bird that kind of looks like Tweety, voiced by Kent Rogers. I love the voice of that baby bird. Is it a funny gag? Yeah, it's okay. I don't mind it. It's fine. Segment 10. Now, looking at this segment, wow, the backgrounds are amazing. They're almost like photos. They're definitely not photos, and I know Clampett was experimenting for a while using photographs as backgrounds, but here they're painted, but wow, they look absolutely incredible. And I love the telegram for the audience bit, which the audience, at least on the West Coast, would have known this, but the 4th Interceptor Command, that's a reference to the unit that was responsible for air cover in Los Angeles. And naturally, we get the Western Onion instead of Western Union, so there's that. Segment 11. Well, we get a nice little punchline at the end where the cat ends up winning, kind of. He eats the bird, and the bird is just being a woodpecker in his belly. But anyway, again, I think that's a great idea to have some of the characters from a previous segment interrupt other segments as well. So I thought it was done pretty well here. I've got to give Clampett credit for that. And I love this elderly pigeon couple. And in the last war, they gave many children to the war effort, and they seem happy that they're going to now make more children for this new war effort, seemingly. And they sing, we did it before, and we can do it again. How appropriate. And if the voice of that Father Pigeon sounds familiar, that's Earl Ravenscraft, and he was the singing voice of the Grinch. That's where you probably heard him. He's also, every so often, in these Warner Brothers shorts, done some singing as part of the group. But here, he's actually just him singing. And Sarah Berner does the mother pigeon there. And we get the nice little patriotic end to the short, telling us we're well and truly into the war. Is this a great short? It's okay. It's not bad. It's not great either. I'd give it maybe, I don't know, 6.5 out of 10. It's watchable. It's fine. You might roll your eyes a few times at some of the jokes, but you be the judge. As it's in the public domain, you can watch the short right now. So that's it for the review. Until next time, take care.
Folks. You know, I reckon a lot of you people out there are sort of wondering about us here on the farm during this war. Well, I want you to know that we're prepared for any emergency. Yes, sir, just like the city folks. Now, take this farmer here. Why, he's heard and read about them there incendiary bombs. You know what he's done? He's even trained his pet dog to help put out the fires. Here's his dog just about to go into action. He's a full-blooded Spitz. this here cow, for instance. Why, you know she's increased her production, and she's now given 5,000 quarts of milk a day. And it seems like a lot of milk, but 5,000 quarts is what she gives.
Gives nothing. They come in and take it from me.
What a performance! Well, look who's here. It's old Tom. You know, old Tom was about the oldest cat in these here parts. Yes, sir. Why, he's been around for the last 3 wars, and he knows that this one will turn out all right, too. Say now, would you look at that? A teeny little woodpecker. Now, I bet you I know what he's aiming to be when he grows up. I reckon he plans to be a riveter at Lockheed.
Ooh, look at the cat's tail. Ooh, here I do. I did a whipping. I did it.
You know, we American people always sort of look forward to Thanksgiving, and this year is certainly no exception. This year turkey is getting fattened up. Yes, sir, he's getting lots to eat, and you know what? When he reaches 20 pounds, he'll be ready for the oven.
20 pounds? Oven?
You know, these turtle eggs, they've been laying around in the sun for quite a spell, and, well, what do you know? Looks like they're getting ready to hatch.
I did it again.
Well, as I was saying, these little turtles are born with a natural bomb-proof shelter on their backs. Ain't that cute? What in the world has come over there? Hey, little fella, what do you think you are?
Beep, beep. I'm a Jeep. Jeep, Jeep.
Well, now that we're back on the farm, let's sort of peek in on a young fella who's a-courting his sweetie.
Marie Elena, would you be my, would you like, no, would you be my, oh, gosh, I wish there was a blackout. Blackout! Oh, boy, oh, boy, blackout! Blackout!
I just don't know what has come over the caterpillars. Just seem to lay around and look glum. Well, would you look at that little feller? He sure looks happy, don't he?
Happy? Of course I'm happy. I just got a retread.
These little fireflies here are gonna stage a practice blackout. Looks like they're set to go. Okay, lights out. Hey there, turtle. You better pull into your shelter. It's a blackout.
Nope, I'd rather not.
Pull your head in. That's better. Why in the world didn't you want to go into your shell?
Well, I'm afraid of the dark.
All right, fireflies. Blackout's over. Hey, you. You on the end. Yes, you. What happened to your light? Hey, who's the bulb snatcher? Who's the bulb snatcher? Did you ever see a prettier sight than this here mother bird? She is a-teaching her little son how to fly.
It's very easy, darling. Just flap your wings like this. See? Come on now. Do as Mommy did.
Ma. I
I want to be a dive bomber. I guess about the only living creatures that haven't been affected by the war are the famous swallows of Capistrano. Yes, sir. As you all know, these here birds return to the mission on a certain day each year, and we're here just in time to see them come back. They'll be along any minute now. Telegram for the audience. What does it say?
It says here, we are out over the ocean. Can't even get close to land. We can't fly to Capistrano past the 4th Interceptor Command. Signed, the Swallows.
Now, you folks all know how valuable carrier pigeons is in wartime.
I do it.
As I was saying, about them there carrier pigeons, well, now this proud couple is famous around these parts. During the last war, they gave more sons to the service than was ever thought possible. Well, more.
We did it before, and we can do it again, and we will do it